Find your passion and chase it. This might sound extremely optimistic because most of us only think we know what our passion is. We think that our passions are things that we decided when we were a kid. The first piece of homework we ever got was, what do you want to be when you grow up? The things we would have written out were things that we already knew about, things that we see on the TV and we're exposed to often, like professional athletes or being a doctor. Chances are your passion is something that you'd never even done before. My first piece of advice to you is to do something that you haven't tried before. Try new things, expand your horizons. When I graduated high school, I got this award called the All-Rounder Award, and to be honest, I thought it was a bit of a cop-out. It was like, you're pretty good at everything, but you were never great at anything. You were never number one at anything. As I got older, I started to think, is this going to be how I spend my whole life? Am I always going to be pretty good at things, but never actually successful at anything? I thought there was something wrong with me because I could never actually continue. I could never actually commit to anything more than just a couple of years. Not long ago, I looked back and I thought, I've actually been managing and running businesses for the last 10 years, but I thought I was flip-flopping because I kept moving from one career to the other, to the other, to the other. I thought passion had to be a subject. I didn't realize it could be a way of thinking or a way of actually operating. I absolutely loved problem solving, learning, strategizing, and creating. I would go from one thing to another because I got bored of it, honestly. I was burnt out from all of doing all of the mundane tasks, and I lost the ability to create, to do these things that I loved. Only until I'd opened up my own business did I realize that I had the control to do things without people telling me what to do, without limiting me, and I had complete creative ownership over it. This was a 10-year process, but you know what? I enjoyed every single part of it. Why? Because I allowed myself to pivot from something that I didn't enjoy to something I did enjoy. I didn't get stuck in that rut of doing something that I didn't like for too long. We don't realize how forgiving the world is. We are afraid to step out of our comfort zone or to leave something because we're worried that there's going to be big backlashes. If you're alive right now, that means you have survived 100% of the challenges that you've been through. If there's something that you don't enjoy, allow yourself to pivot, take yourself out of that environment before it gets too comfortable and too difficult to escape. My first business was a meal prep business that I did out of my own parents' kitchen. I loved food that everyone enjoyed and how to turn that into healthy versions of it. I would always make it myself, and I would have people ask if I could do it for them. It started with just a couple of friends, and then they told their friends and their co-workers, and literally within a few weeks, it was making more than I did from my regular day job. The thing that I had started in just my spare time had become the thing that had made most of my income and filled most of my time. This is where I first started teaching myself all the different aspects of management. For me to go into a managerial job, it would have been impossible, but now all of a sudden on my resume I ran my own food business, and I could go straight to that management position in bigger and better jobs. I didn't have to spend years trying to get a degree. I was already there just from a few months of my own practical work experience. A lot of these success stories are from people who did something that they knew nothing about prior to starting up that business. I heard this story of a lady, and she was at a clothing store. She never worked in the fashion industry before, but she'd moved to LA for a job, and when she started to dislike that job, she fell in love with the city and wanted to just stay there. Since she liked clothes, she just found a job at a clothing store. Every time that her buyer would make an order, she'd just give her suggestions, things that she liked, things that she thought would sell well. Eventually, she got promoted to do that as her main work. After a couple of years of doing this, she realized that most of these clothes that, while she really liked, there was always something that wasn't quite right about them. So she decided to learn how to sew and make her own clothes and wear those out. Every time she would take it out, people would ask where she got it. So she thought, why don't I make this and sell it? That company is now Aviator Nation, and it turns over about $130 million in revenue a year. See, we need to realize that you can become a millionaire in literally anything. Now, of course, there's the doctors, there's the actors, there's the financial advisors. We see that all the time. But There's also bakers, there's also salespeople, there's also construction workers. How about Joe Rogan? He is such a successful person, and what are his skills? He literally is just a curious person who is great at conversation. That's it. Imagine being able to make a living just by being yourselves, yet too many of us don't believe in ourselves. We all ask what society can do for us, and instead, what can we do for society? I know you see a lot of these people with minimal responsibility, so they could afford to take these risks. They could afford to spend time in something that didn't pay well until they eventually made it. I get it. I felt the same. The more responsibilities you acquire, the more challenging it is to take risks. People depend on you. We require a steady income. But did you know that if you just spent 2 hours a day on something for a year, you can become an expert in it. You could become more knowledgeable in it than most people that have tried it before. Now, most of us spend 16 to 18 waking hours a day. What is the thing that is going to make you jump out of bed? The thing you're going to wake up 2 hours early for, or the things that you are going to stay up 2 hours late for? Those are the things that you need to hone in on. You can still keep your day job, but without having the pressure of needing to make money from day to day. You can just spend time on this without getting anything out of it, but learning more and more about it and becoming more and more passionate about it. If over time you start to hate it, then try something else. Learn everything. Once you find what that thing is, go all in on it. Now, there might be things that you don't enjoy doing, but it is necessary to accomplish something that you do enjoy doing. Take the time to learn it. Once you know a little bit about everything, you can find someone to take on the tasks that you don't like, and you stay hyper-focused on the things that you do like and that you are good at. Now, we aren't going to love every single aspect of our passion. Do you think Jeff Bezos likes delivering packages? No, but the things you aren't passionate about, someone else is. I opened up this cafe in Spain, and I knew nothing about the restaurant industry, nothing about being in a kitchen. So I hired this head chef and a floor manager, and essentially I became their employees. I learned everything that I could from them. I then hired a new marketing company, and I learned everything that I could from them as well. I did all of this while doing the day-to-day operations. Eventually, I learned a little bit about everything, so when I wanted to hone in on the growth and development of the company, I could hire people to do those things, and I knew exactly what I needed to look for. See, I'm not passionate about cooking food or serving customers, but I found people that were, and I listed them up. If this isn't your passion, it is someone else's passion. We hold on to the idea that we should be able to do everything because we're not a success story without it. While you're holding on to that idea, someone is outsourcing, someone is hiring, and they are actually out there becoming a success. When you find those people, support them in their own pursuit for their passion. When people do things because they love it, they stop trading hours for money and they start trading value. You get more out of them, your business gets more out of them, and you have the satisfaction of knowing you make someone's life better, not worse. Yes, it might cost you a bit of money and initially time to find the right people, but let me give you a couple of different options and you can decide what makes the most sense. Would you rather make a little bit of money for a long time or a little bit of less money for a short period of time and a lot of money for the rest of your lives? So you have to broaden your field of view initially to be able to find the right direction to take. Start walking anywhere. Start taking that step. Be quick to make adjustments if you don't like that path you're on. When you get close, you don't have to pivot so much and you can just sprint in that direction. You go all in on that path. All of those steps you have taken have not led you in the wrong path, but they have taught you lessons. They have narrowed your direction and brought you closer towards what you are actually passionate about, towards your actual goal. Timing is important, and yes, sometimes you do have to hold out on taking those big leaps, but don't wait too long because eventually that opportunity will disappear. Time is finite. Time is too short to be waking up and helping someone else to reach their goals at the expense of your own happiness. If you're not hopping out of bed wanting to attack your work, then work isn't right for you. I want you to take a step back for a minute and think, is what I'm currently doing lighting my soul? Do I have this feeling of purpose with things I do on a daily basis? Be honest with yourself. If the answer is no, then what is it that is going to make you feel this way? Life is a journey of self-discovery. It's not always an easy answer. At one point, You might have thought your current career was your passion, and now you hold on to it, but it no longer fulfills you. Then re-navigate. Life is too short to pretend to like it. The first thing you need to do is take the time to introspect. Take the time to reflect on your values, your interests, and the activities that make you lose track of time. What brings you joy? What stirs a sense of purpose within you? By examining your inner self, you begin to uncover the clues that lead to your passion. Secondly, be open to new experiences. Sometimes passions lurk in unexpected places. Reading and writing was something that I was always bad at and never came naturally to me, but I loved talking. I like to inspire people. True satisfaction for me is making other people's lives better. I wanted to start making these motivation videos to lift people, because they are videos I watch every single morning for my own personal self-development. But I wanted to tell my story. I wanted to give a new perspective, something from a regular person who has been through a lot of hardships and was able to turn things around. So I just started writing down my thoughts and emotions that I felt when I listened to these videos. I started elaborating and really enjoyed it. Now I get up at 3 a.m. in the morning to write, and I love it. I guess it wasn't writing that I didn't enjoy, but it was the things I was writing about, something I never would have discovered if I wasn't open to something unexpected. So try new things, step out of your comfort zone, and embrace the unfamiliar. It is through exploration and experimentation that you may stumble upon the activities and pursuits that resonate with your soul. Thirdly, be patient with yourself. The journey to finding your passion is not always a linear one. It's okay to experience detours, setbacks, and moments of uncertainty. Each step, even the missteps, contributes to your knowledge and skill set and helps shape your understanding of who you are. Now find how you can include this into your life. You don't have to risk it all to make progress. Days are long, and we underestimate what we can do in that time. We underestimate the potential in accumulating. An hour a day is 365 hours in just a year. Think about what you could accomplish in 365 hours. Life is short, and work is going to take up a long part of that time, so you better enjoy it. Life is all that you have. Don't wait until you're 50 to realize you spent a third of your waking hours unhappy and dissatisfied, and the rest of your time thinking and talking about how unhappy and dissatisfied that work made you. True success is doing what you love and getting paid for it. You should be excited to come home to your wife and kids and tell them about your day. Be the person that inspires your family. You are not trapped. You're not without hope. You have a passion. You have something that makes you want to jump out of bed at 5 a.m. and spend your whole day doing it. You just might not know what it is yet. Broaden your horizons, try different things, and be open to different experiences. Take those risks. It might not come right away, but when you have the slightest bit of excitement for something, go for it. It could be the thing that changes the trajectory of your whole life.